Hello! So today I'm going to talk about something a little different, a little weird, a little unexpected. Something that people don't really talk about that much. I want to talk about living without depression. Like without it. Yeah. That's an actual thing. I don't know if people realize that does exist. That can happen to you, and it is happening to me. There are some challenges that come with it, surprisingly. So, yeah. Obviously, we all know that living with depression is really, really hard. You kind of get used to like this really non-functional lifestyle. You're not really living for anything. You're not really thinking about the future. You're just surviving, right? But what about when you start to get better? Like when you actually start to re-enter the world, become functional, it can get really confusing. I mean, it's all new. And what is normal for other people might seem really strange to you and different and hard. Yeah. So I guess what I want to start with is when you start to get better, you start to change. You don't become like a totally different person. It's like your habits change, your likes, what you need, how you spend your time, just stuff like that. And I mean, yeah, you consider that to be a change as a person, but I mean, you still are who you are. You're just living your life how you're supposed to, right? Okay, so I guess the first thing I would address is like changes in behavior. You're gonna have more energy, you're gonna do more stuff, you're gonna wake up, and instead of laying in bed for 2 hours, you're gonna get up and you're gonna get ready, and you're probably gonna put on clothes even if you're not going anywhere. I mean, of course, it's different for everybody, but I mean, essentially, you are actually going to, do stuff, right? And this is going to confuse your friends. This is going to confuse your family. They're probably going to be like, you're wearing makeup? You're wearing makeup! You haven't done that for like years. Are you okay? Or like, you took a shower? Or you left your house? Or like, you went out and did this? Like, people are just going to be really, really confused, right? You're going to notice that you need more stimulation. And that applies to your relationships, to your friendships. You're going to notice that you want to go out and you actually want to be around people. You don't want to sit at home alone. You want to go out and you want to do things and you want to talk and you want to have friends and you want to go here and you want to go there, and you just have more energy to do things you want to do. When before, when you were depressed, it was stuff you never thought you'd want to do or you never felt like doing it. And that will take a toll on your relationships because people are going to be like, why do you need so much from me now when you never needed this before? Or how come you have all this energy now and you want to do all these new hobbies and you have all these new interests and you want to do all this stuff? It's like, you're not who you were before. You have been body snatched. You're not my friend, so we can't be friends anymore because I don't have time to hang out with you so much, and I don't have time to put up with your new hobbies and your new interests. And you're not you. You've changed. They're not going to understand it. If they didn't know you before you were depressed and they were friends with you throughout your depression, they're going to think that you've lost your fucking mind and that you're nuts. And I don't know. Maybe you are, but it's just going to be so strange to them and so different, and they're not going to understand this need for stimulation you have, and your friendship might not survive it. And that's okay. That's okay. That's fine. Because you can find new friends, right? So yeah, you might have new hobbies, new interests. You'll notice that you might set aside actual like time to do them, and you'll actually feel like doing them. You won't have to like push yourself to do things. You'll just want to do them. You'll just do them like naturally. I've noticed, like, for me, that my family relationships have improved because I actually like leave my room, I spend time with my parents, I go talk to them, I have dinner with them. Nothing seems like a waste of time to me anymore. I used to always think, well, this is a waste of time, that's a waste of time, what's the point of that? That's stupid. I don't think that way anymore. Every moment is precious. Every moment is important. But I've been practicing gratitude for a few years. So, the last thing I want to talk about is something you need to be very careful of. You don't want to become one of them. And a lot of you probably already know what I mean when I say that. When you don't want to become one of them. You don't want to become one of those people who don't understand depression, who make depressed people feel bad for being depressed, and who don't understand why depressed people don't want to go out, they don't want to hang out, they don't want to leave their houses, they don't want to talk, they don't want to get out of bed, they don't want to take a shower, they don't want to go out, they don't want to do anything. You're happy now, and you might become frustrated with people who aren't, and who don't want to go out and do things, and aren't active, and aren't social, and aren't taking care of themselves. You might feel like they should just get over it, but you have to remember that you were the same way. And that hole you were stuck in was so deep, and nobody else could come drag you out, that you had to climb yourself out of it. But you didn't have any strength to do it. It might have taken you years. It might have taken you medication. It might have taken therapy. But you never fucking forget how that felt and what it took to get out of it. And you never, ever make other people feel bad for that. As someone who was depressed and now you're better, you have a personal obligation to be trying to help others and make them feel understood and toss them a rope to get out of that hole. Okay? I know you don't want to remember how it felt to be helpless and depressed as fuck, but sometimes you need to. It's our responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. Okay, so that was a really passionate rant. I'm really sorry. I don't know where that came from. So yeah, I Googled this. I Googled recovering from depression, living life after depression, re-entering the world after depression, and guess what I found? Nothing. I didn't find a thing. I found re-entry after the war. I found living life after loss. I found things like that. But I didn't find anything about living life after recovering from depression. And I'm like, Well, people need to be talking about that because that's a thing and that really happens. And I mean, if we talked about it more, we might give hope to people who are stuck in a rut, who are stuck down in that depressive hole of hopelessness. It's a thing. You can and you will get better. Might take a lot of time and effort. Might be really hard, but it's possible. But yeah, living without depression it's basically like a whole new appreciation for life and I don't know, a sense of adventure, I guess. I haven't felt until recently that I was actually living life. Like living life to the fullest. I just felt like I was plugging away, going day to day, just trying not to give up. Just surviving. But now I feel like I'm actually like living. So there is hope. And you will get better. And for those who are better, drop a comment. Tell us your journey. Tell us how you got there. Reassure others that they will get better, that it's possible, and never become one of them. And you know what I mean by one of them. Bye.